report. Back here in Washington, House Speaker John Boehner is taking it from all directions this week. President Obama and Democrats are ripping him for resisting tax hikes on the rich, and Boehner's own party is giving him a hard time for not resisting hard enough. Chief Political Correspondent Carl Cameron has a deeper look at that story.
House Speaker John Boehner is trying to stave off a conservative rebellion within GOP ranks. Boehner's proposal to steer clear of the fiscal cliff by raising tax revenues $800 billion by closing loopholes has outraged some anti-tax conservatives. And when the Speaker removed 4 conservatives from key committees for voting against the leadership in the past, the battle began.
$800 billion over 10 years, that certainly looks like it would be a tax increase to me. 238 Republicans, myself included, took a pledge not to raise taxes.
They wanted to send a message to me, to send a message to others that we're not going to tolerate people who are interested in doing what's right. We want to play the same old game, and if you're going to try to disrupt that, we're going to knock you off a committee.
For refusing to toe the leadership line, conservatives Tim Hulskamp and Justin Amash were tossed off the House Budget Committee, and David Schweikert and Walter Jones were bounced from the Financial Services Committee. Benching conservatives and his proposal to increase tax revenues have Boehner under fire from conservative groups, including the Heritage Foundation, RedState.com, FreedomWorks, and the heavy-hitting Club for Growth.
If you keep doing this, we may have to replace you.
It is bad policy. It is awful politics. And it will guaranteed, it will lose him the speakership of the House in 2 years.
Nancy Pelosi.
Republicans lost the House majority in 2006 when they promised to cut spending, then increased it. Brent Bozell of For America, Inc. and the Conservative Media Research Center says Republicans face the same fate if, after promising all year to hold the line or cut taxes, they raise more.
It's not a threat, it's a reality. Look, the Republicans lost the House when they walked away from fiscal responsibility. They regained it when they recommitted themselves to fiscal responsibility. If they abandon it yet again, it is a guarantee that conservatives aren't going to go along with this.
GOP leaders have reacted little to the backlash. Boehner raised over $100 million for House Republican candidates this year, and his proposal to increase tax revenues and the removal of the 4 rebel conservatives is backed by House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, Whip Kevin McCarthy, and Budget Committee Chairman Paul Ryan. But now they're under fire, too.
In a perverse way, the purging was actually good because it provided clarity with what we thought was true, which is that leadership didn't really hold these conservative principles in the first place. They just want to get 218 votes on something, and they're not quite dedicated to what those what the content is.
This internal GOP fight's actually been overshadowed by the bigger battle over the fiscal cliff, but the politicians do get it. This year, the Club for Growth spent $10 million against Republicans they felt were not conservative enough, in a campaign ultimately that didn't even go the GOP's way. John?
Carl, thanks. And late today, 3 of the 4 Republican lawmakers kicked off of those committees wrote to Boehner demanding an explanation from him by the close of business on Monday.